Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought you were doing something totally different.
You're Erica, and that's...
Maria. Hi,
Thank
everyone.
You know, you don't even get to say your name. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, we suck at podcasting. Thank you for being here. This week we're doing a book, and the name of the book is...
The Housemaid by Freida
Ooh,
McFadden.
I almost said The Handmaid.
That's a totally different...
Very different.
A very
different. Also harrowing thing.
Very different documentary.
Documentary.
The Housemaid getting made into a movie?
Yes, it is.
The Housemaid is?
And
Getting made
Amanda
into a
Seyfried will
movie.
be in it.
Oh, really?
As the Housemaid?
I don't know if
As
she's
Nina?
playing Nina or
Probably the Nina.
I don't know. I can see her playing.
I could see her playing the...
What's her name?
I don't remember, but I was also going to
Shit.
say I have a cast for you. if you
Wait.
want to talk about it later.
What is her name?
Because I thought
Melly.
Miss
Millie.
Winchester
Millie.
or something.
Millie?
Millie.
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 Yeah,
I thought Millie has dark hair.
No,
I can
Millie has
imagine
blonde
it.
hair.
She has blonde hair?
Yeah,
Emily's blonde, yeah.
for sure.
Okay, never mind.
I'll open it when we talk about that, but yeah, it's being turned into a film.
The Housemaid, if you missed it. But this book, I feel like, was trending like a while ago, actually. Or no, trending now.
I think this...
No, it's just always known right now. It's like one of
Yeah.
those like staple thrillers that everyone tends to
when did it
read.
get
I think 2019, 2018, 2020.
My sister-in-law was like, I read it before it became cool. That's what she said.
Oh,
I was
she
like,
felt so cool saying
I
that.
feel like the cover is very... I don't want to say iconic, but like I remember it.
I do too, actually. I was
Like,
like,
everybody has
the
that
cover
cover.
is very like ingrained in my brain.
I think
for some
especially
reason.
in the beginning of the R podcast and Bookstagram for us, I always saw it.
wait, when
Oh,
did
2022.
Yeah,
it came out in
it's-
2022?
Yeah.
Which like wasn't that long
I don't
ago.
know why I thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
In my head it was like 2018.
I think it looks
past
like another
5
cover.
years have been
A blur.
Oh yeah,
We've talked about this.
It's a lot.
strange.
Well, okay, so The Housemaid, a thriller. How did you feel about doing another thriller?
So I listened to this.
Whoa.
So
Okay,
different vibes in
Yeah.
terms of.
Did you enjoy it better as a listen than read?
I think so. I would say like pound for pound, yes. Did I like this book the most out of all of the thrillers? Probably not. But like, I also didn't hate it. I was
care
apathetic
more-
about it.
I care more about your experience because I think you don't have a good time reading thrillers. That's why I was excited that you were going to listen to it. I think it changes how
I think it was a better experience
Yeah.
listening to it for sure. But at the same time, the same feeling of like this would be better as a movie.
Well,
I
it's
just-
gonna be a
I
movie.
just-
Don't you worry, it's
always-
coming.
I just always have that feeling of like this would be better as a movie.
Is it because you're a movie buff and you just love movies?
No, I don't think because I'm not like a thriller buff movie.
No. I said a movie buff, not a thriller buff.
I know, but I don't feel like that with books.
Really?
In
Like, you
general.
don't read a lot of books and think, oh, this would be cool as a movie?
I do, but I never think like this would be better as a movie.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. That's true.
Why did we read this? I think you brought this.
Because
up.
I wanted a thriller and I was sick of what we were reading.
Were you just like, this is like kind of been seen a lot?
Well, no, I knew the movie was coming.
Oh, okay.
And I knew that it's well known. So like more listeners
like,
have probably
actually-
heard it or read it before.
Yep.
In production.
Instead of like a sort of an obscure thriller, I
Okay.
thought something that was highly rated as well because it's like what
It is
4.2?
highly
highly rated.
Which I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about.
So I figured this would be a good one to like jump into. It's recognizable, high rating,
very easy to read.
very easy dialogue, very easy prose.
Yep.
So I felt like it was accessible for us.
So
to
if
do
you
that.
haven't read it yet, go read The Housemaid before listening to this, just because of how easy of a read it is. It's not too long. It'll take you like a couple days if you're reading quick enough, and then you can come back and listen to this because we are going to spoil it. And thrillers, I think, are more fun to read them on your own and get the thrill, you know?
Amanda Seyfried is Nina.
Ooh.
Sydney Sweeney's Millie.
Oh.
And
I
Andrew.
get them confused.
And Andrew is Brandon Skelnar,
I
the
don't know.
guy
I've never seen him
from
before.
It Ends With Us.
Not
Not Justin Baldoni's character, the other one.
Atlas or whatever his name.
Oh,
is.
okay. Interesting.
And
Oh, interesting. They're adding him in there.
We'll have to watch it. When's it come out? Does it say? Or it's in production?
December of 2025.
Okay, great. Well, we'll have to watch that one. All right, who's doing the 60 second?
I feel like
It's got to be Maria, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how this trend goes for the day.
I guess
All right. Well, if you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, Maria's going to do The Housemaid. And let me pull up the clock.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Here we go, Maria. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Millie is a recent ex-con. Basically, she was in jail for 10 years, and she really desperately needs a job. So she is lying on her resume to get a job as a housemaid at this well-to-do lady, Nina. And so she gets the job, and soon things start getting a little weird. Nina is a little eccentric, kind of crazy, starts lying things. Just her experience is not good. All throughout this, we know about her husband. He is like, for Millie, she's like, well, how does this man choose this woman? She's crazy.
30
She's,
seconds.
they have a weird kid. And then halfway through, we realize that, no, this is all a plot by Nina to try to get away from Andrew, because Andrew is our villain. So Nina ends up like escaping. Millie gets stuck into this room that he likes to put her in. By him, I mean Andrew. And eventually Millie just kills Andrew. And Nina's like, cool, girl, thanks so much. This is the whole plan from the beginning. And I'm just gonna go live my life with my child, and now you can go and I'm not gonna bother you again. And at the end, here, I'm gonna recommend you as a housemaid to another well-to-do lady that needs her husband killed.
Husband slayer.
The
end. Great job.
I don't think so.
It's better. It's hard because it's like there's a lot that's happening but not a lot at all.
Yeah, it's like talking a lot but saying nothing.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
lot happened. It feels like there's like a golf ball like in the stomach type thing. Like
What?
a lot happened in like 50 pages.
Oh yeah. So once
you know what
how
I
do
mean?
we open the book with the end?
which
You
both
hate.
you both
I don't
hated
li- I don't
this.
like that.
hate
I
it.
never-
It opened the book with I am coming out of this house in handcuffs.
Yes.
And then the cops are sort of like they come downstairs and they go, detective, have you seen the body? And we don't know who's dead, but we know someone's dead. And then we just go to Millie trying to get this job. And I felt like that, that meme where it's like a person and they freeze frame and is like, hi, I bet you wanted to think how I got here.
Yeah.
It felt like that.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
And I don't know if
And I hate
I know
it.
you both really disliked it, but I wanted to ask you, Erica, as someone who likes to read the last page of a book
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm
before you even
surprised.
start anything, why did it bother you?
Because I don't like being because I know what's happening in this last page, but I don't know what happened.
That's the
And
point.
like, no, I know, but it's not like reading the last page. It's like reading page 80%. Like you're like at like the climax of the story, not the end of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's not really reading the last page. You're reading like
Uh-huh.
when I read. Okay, for example, when I read the last page of Onyx Storm, right?
Uh-huh.
Spoilers,
I know,
just in case.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any spoilers. I know who survived because I know who's talking. I know XYZ is happening, right? Like I don't know how I got there, but I know that all of these things happen.
Right.
When I read this, Millie, I don't know who the fuck Millie is. I don't know who she is. Is she the main character? I have no fucking idea. I don't know who died. I don't know if I should care who died. I don't know anything about if this is in the beginning of I don't know that this is the end of the book. This could
Right.
be in the middle of the book.
Right.
I have no fucking
Wait.
clue.
But the only reason Onyx Storm is a bad thing because you are familiar with the character.
Yeah.
So of course you go to the end and
I
you're
know,
like, well,
but-
I know that person survived
but
because
yeah.
you're familiar with them.
Exactly, but what books do I read that are
Every other
first
book.
solo-
Yeah.
I don't read.
Okay, let's say it was the fourth wing. You
Regular
opened
book.
fourth
Yeah,
wing
you
and
read
went
the
to
last
end
book.
of
I didn't
fourth-
do that.
Okay. That's the difference then. You're talking about you
I
like to go
think
to the
I
end of
only
books
do
in
it-
series.
Yeah, I think I only do it in series.
But I think this rule doesn't apply when you read the last book of a series and you didn't read any of the ones before
You're
it.
still mad about that. She had read all of those.
I'm just saying she does
But you know
that
what I
too.
mean? Like I don't know where this. Like yes, we figured out eventually that was the end of the book. But
I mean,
like,
yeah, that's
I don't
a lot
know
of
what this
things
is out of context, and I know it's meant to like
make you want to know.
disjar you and make you want to know and make you want to read, but all it does is piss me off.
Okay.
I hear that.
How did you feel about it?
I also don't like it just because like I don't like knowing anything going into a book, but I understand the vice for it. Like I get why it's there.
Yeah, it's a device.
Yeah,
It's a
and I'm
plot
like,
device.
all right, yeah. I'm here. It reminded me of show that I don't want to say the name to because it will spoil said show. But like on page 23, you could see I highlighted a sentence that says, "Your husband seems nice," I say to Nina as the door slams shut. The dark, suspicious look returns to her eyes. Do you think so? And I wrote, feels like the body will be Andrew's and both these girls are going to kill him. So I'm just saying, I called it on page 23, but then I got very distracted
So that's
as they talked about her weight.
I think that's what's a fun thing about thrillers is that you're trying to be the detective, trying to figure out what
And that's
the
why
twist
I think is
is
why people like them.
Right. So for me, I'm not someone who's constantly trying to figure out the plot as
Me
I'm reading
neither.
a book. I just go with the flow. I'll have thoughts.
Yeah.
And they'll come and go. And I've had thoughts of like,
But yeah,
I bet
I'm
you-
not sitting there looking.
Oh, I
with
do.
it.
I
I'm
know,
not,
yeah.
I'm not
That's my
doing
problem.
the dissertation in my head of like, okay, well, this evidence points to this,
Oh,
that, and the other.
I do
don't.
exactly that, and it ruins it.
But
for
I
me.
had a lot of moments where I basically guessed it.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I feel
naturally, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, that seems strange.
yeah, naturally, I'm like, I feel like Nina's trying this a little too hard. I feel like there's a reason
it's
for
like
this.
too much. Yeah.
And then they give me a random like, red herring, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
There was a lot of red herrings.
I was
in this.
convinced. So one thing that I hated about this book, and I mean hated, is they talked about Nina's weight more. I think I highlighted 60 times where they brought up Nina's weight, and they just kept saying like she's a different person and she put on all this weight. I mean, the author must have brought this up at least 60 times, like I said. So it almost made it seem like she wasn't the same person. And then we have this gardener that they threw in the mix,
Enzo,
who's got this tattoo, and I'm like, okay, so clearly Nina's not the same person. Maybe the housemaid before killed her, became her, and then this is the cycle that we're gonna
that's
keep
a very
going.
sci-fi kind of thought, but all right.
Weird.
But this is what I'm saying. Like that, just having that first chapter made me the entire time like go so fucking deep into this analysis where I'm
Yeah.
like, well, she said this.
Yeah.
Oh, she said that.
Yeah.
But the weight thing like pissed me off so much.
I will say,
what did that have to do with
It was
anything?
so strange. It was so
basically,
off-putting.
It was
At the end,
it
she
was
was like, I
setting
let
us
myself
up.
go. I'm like, oh, you.
It was setting
gained
us
a
up.
pound?
So again, the first half of the book is all in Millie's perspective. It's all in what I'm calling present day. She's finding out a lot of things about Nina that she didn't know of initially. A lot of the other moms in this like super high, well-to-do area of Long Island were like, "Oh, how is it in that house? Because Nina's crazy."
And you're made to believe Nina.
She
Nina
got
is
put.
crazy.
Nina's
Yeah.
doing her job to make her seem
Yes,
crazy.
Yeah.
Nina gets put in a mental institution at some point. So like all the moms know this, and they're telling Millie this. So Millie's learning these things little by little, all while falling for Nina's husband, which she shouldn't, but whatever. And so through it, you see Millie sort of saying like, "Oh well." You can see her with her super big double chin, and she's just like she's giving me a bag of clothes. Hold on, she's giving me a bag of clothes that there's no way she's fit into this recently. And I'm sitting there reading. I'm like, all right, this
I'm
has to be for
expecting her to be a
reason.
fucking world.
And then when they say she's a size like 12 to 14, I
Isn't
say,
that insane?
"You bitch, I'm a 12 to
She's a
14.
normal-sized
How
human."
fucking dare you?"
It was like that actually kind of pissed me off. I was like, this seems like a very
her double
misogynistic.
chin was like flapping
was
in
so
the wind.
fucking
I was
huge.
like,
felt-
what?
It felt very like fat
Oh, I
phobic
need
in a
to
way,
look-
and
it's
it's not even
super
fat. It's like
fat-phobic.
it's average size.
I never think things are fat phobia or
Until
like
this.
like
Oh, this was
I
1000%.
when people like call it out on like TikTok and shit, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like let's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
take a step back right now. This was the first time that I was like, this is aggressive
I
Yeah.
agree.
and like really weird.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it was used as sort of to be, in my opinion, when it comes to
I wonder
Nina's
how-
perspective, right? We eventually switched to Nina, and we're finding out how Nina and Andrew first got together. Nina's a new mom. She was super skinny, beautiful. Andrew likes blondes, so Andrew wanted her to dye her hair. If like she didn't dye her hair, Andrew was crazy. He basically like locked her in her room and would make her be in there for days with like barely any water, no actual bathroom. She's like, when I saw the bucket, when Millie first goes into her attic room and
Yeah.
there's a random bucket, he was like, oh,
It's crazy that
Someone's
she
getting locked in
stays.
there.
Freida McFadden is very thin. Like
Oh,
first.
of
like,
course.
Okay.
So that makes a lot of sense.
So it was used in the sense of she used to take care of herself so well.
Yeah.
She was always like super pretty, because Andrew liked it.
Yeah.
So she purposely let herself
Which we don't know
go,
until the
quote
end.
unquote. Yeah,
Yeah.
until we find out later. So that Andrew would not want to be with her anymore. This whole thing is a plot that
Yeah.
takes years
Yeah.
for her to just get rid of Andrew because Andrew's so abusive.
I know. And like the whole story, like we're made to believe that Andrew's the good guy. Nina's absolutely batshit crazy. But here's the thing: when Millie shows up, they're like, "All right, we're gonna put you in the attic." The first thing she notices, she's like, "Oh, the door
Locked from the
locks
outside.
From the outside. This is weird." And she goes, "There's scratches." That's the first thing I'm gonna go. I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
I'm like,
Not
I
even-
will
not
stay in
even a
different
little
place.
bit.
Yeah.
Not even fucking a little bit.
Not for a second. There was no point. Like, there were so many times where I was just like, okay, just leave. Like, why are you still there? I just didn't understand.
I will
it.
say this book did a good job of making me really uncomfortable with Nina and how she
Yeah.
acted. Thought that was really like well done, especially when, like, let's say when Nina misplaces her notes for the PTA meeting. And at this point, she goes to Millie and she goes, "Where did you put them?" She makes a huge mess in the house. And she's like, "How dare you get rid of my notes?" And I'm like, oh, if it was me, I was like fuming for
Yeah,
Millie. I was
yeah.
like, oh, if this woman did this to me, I'd be
It just
out.
felt strange because it's like, why did Andrew stop disciplining you then?
because she
'Cause
put her
she
in the room.
Put her in the attic.
The attic room was the discipline.
No, I know, but like, why did he, like, if she made a mess, like, don't you think he would have disciplined her?
But that was when Millie gets there. He can't do it when Millie's there.
That was, like, why she-
That's why she did it.
I know, but she gained all that weight for
I guess she didn't really care
didn't
at that
care
point,
about
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
don't know, like there was just I was like, why is he this like not like continue? I don't know. I also think that it was a weak story in general because it was single threaded in the sense that like all of this would have been completely null and void if there wasn't a child involved.
Yes.
Like she would have just fucking pieced out.
Yes.
That's true.
But
too.
It's because her
only
child was there.
reason
yeah.
that this even happened, like if you like, and I say single threaded because if you pull that single thread out,
Right.
The whole
this
thing
whole
unravels.
story
Just
unravels.
falls apart. Yeah.
And that's why I think people hate miscommunication tropes is because sometimes it's just a single point of dialogue that
could change everything.
if you remove it from it, it's a single thread and the whole plot falls apart,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think that's
Like, if you-
why they added in, like, okay, so she ended up in the mental institution, right? And the
by
reason,
Andrew's fault.
but the reason for that was that they thought she tried to kill her kid.
Yes.
So I think at least she threaded that needle, like she brought that back in, because it could have just been this kid exists here, and if she wasn't there, then she
yeah,
would've
so
left.
she made it. She
Yeah.
made it like
She weaved it
patchwork.
in,
She
yeah.
weaved it in, but it was still. If the child did not exist,
Right,
then
then none of
this
that.
whole thing is falling apart.
right. My thing though too is like if she was able to take her kid to camp, like I would have been able to run away with my kid.
You would think, right?
Seven
I would
years.
say, I would
what
say,
was
hey,
7
I'm taking
years?
the kid to camp in Massachusetts. Just never come
I
Seven
back.
think that
years
comes
seems
down
like
to
a really
that
long
comes down
amount of
to the,
time.
like, we don't know what it's like to be in
Of
that
course.
abusive.
Of course,
like,
of course.
You know that it's pretty common that abusers don't leave the situation, but like
Abuse, yeah.
the only reason I think we can say this was because we get her perspective in the end, and
Mhm.
it's like you
whole plot.
definitely were ready to like. There was no moment where she was just like, I felt like I had to stay because blank. It was always I felt like I had to stay
She-
because of my kid.
Yeah, she
That was
did
the
say
only
he's
reason.
gonna hurt my
Yeah.
child.
So that's why I was like, oh, okay, so she definitely could have left.
I also didn't feel too bad because the kid sucks.
Okay,
Which is like
that was never
another
explained in the end
strange
either.
thing.
Like,
yeah, like why her kid's terrible.
was her kid in on it? Like I didn't understand
don't
that
know.
either. I don't know. The gardener thing I thought was interesting, but that felt like another red herring in a way where it was like he was always there and I was like, oh, is he looking for a body? Like that had me questioning things. But
I kind of liked him in the sense he felt like an angel on her shoulder,
yeah.
like type thing of like do the right thing,
You can't
like
leave
you can't
Nina-
leave this
Millie in
person
there.
in this, and like he felt like the guiding light of like in the darkness almost,
Mhm.
and I thought he was actually a really good character in that way. But also I don't know, like these like thrillers, everything ends up like not fucking mattering. Like she doesn't end up with Enzo, so like he really doesn't
Well,
fucking
Nina
matter.
does.
No, she
No,
doesn't.
she doesn't.
I
They
thought
have a
they-
moment. They,
They have like
shoot
a
together.
Yeah.
but
they fuck and then it's done.
I thought it was a basic storyline. I wasn't like mad about it. I had moments where I was
Who
really
did you
enjoying
picture Andrew as?
it.
Oh, I had somebody too, and now I
The guy
forget.
from Hating Game,
I could tell you who I pictured.
not an Eastwood. I got that wrong.
I
Is he
got
Eastwood?
Ben Hollingsworth.
Can you show me his face? I'm not good with actors.
He's in Virgin River.
Again, you're not helping me
I
here.
got you. This guy.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that too.
Ben Hollingsworth.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys in Virgin River. He's sexy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Who would you think?
I think I was picturing like more of like a silver fox.
Really?
No, because Nina's older than him.
I know, and I like couldn't remove myself from thinking he was like 45.
I can imagine Enzo being a silver fox.
I know.
pictured. This is so weird, but I picture Nina as Patricia Arquette, which I think is hilarious. Are you guys watching?
Oh, you know who I?
No,
Fuck,
again,
I don't know what
I'm
her
so
name
bad with
is.
actor names.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
Christine.
Patricia Arquette's kind of older, but
Well, Nina is older.
I was picturing like, do you watch Severance? You guys?
Yeah,
watch
I can
Severance?
see that. I haven't seen Severance yet, but yes, that I can see that with her.
That's like so Patricia.
Yep, I can
Arquette
see
to
that.
me.
I was thinking of
No.
her.
Who?
For Nina, no, I can't see that.
Christine
I can kind of see that.
Pazowski or whatever her name is. Like not that attractive, but like kind of.
Well, according to Nina was beautiful.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Yeah, and
Until she got fat, you know?
Apparently. And she even says in the end, she's like, I really let myself go. I gained a few pounds. I was like, whoa.
No, but everyone be like, did you see how much candy she's been eating? Like, she's just
what
like
the
stuffing her face at all hours. I'm like, I
Wild.
need you guys to shut the fuck up, please.
So one thing
It was bizarre.
One thing we talked about off this podcast was just like the writing in general, right? So I thought the writing felt very basic.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think a lot of these mainstream books are
totally
like that.
fine. Something I've noticed though, I just wanted to bring this up when I'm going through my notes. I think there are a lot of like little things that if I were to reread this again, knowing what I know, like on page 37, which I highlighted, and I don't know why I highlighted this, which is crazy. She's in her car and she says, I don't even need mace anymore. And I highlighted that. I don't know why I highlighted that, but at the end of the book, she literally has the mace and that's how she survives and kills Andrew. So I was like, okay, there are little moments I think that if I were to reread this book, I would find like little tiny things.
the foreshadowing.
And I kind of love, those things are always really fun for me to like look back on and be like, oh, I missed all these fun little like moments.
I think
how
the writing,
weird though.
I don't want to call
highlighted
the
that.
writing does seem like basic, and I don't want you to think basic is a
Bad.
bad term.
No, I didn't mean it.
I
that way.
think basic in a way that it's accessible.
it's easy,
It's
I feel like people
accessible,
who don't read often,
which I needed.
yeah, a lot of people who don't read a lot of
It's
books.
easy. It's easy reading.
It's an easy read for you to pick up. It's entertaining. I haven't talked about how we get to the end.
We
So-
have to talk about the end.
So I think my favorite part of
That's
the,
my
my
whole review.
favorite part of this whole book is Millie getting back at Andrew.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Banana Land.
once Nina leaves, Nina finds a way to get out.
we took a hard left.
A very hard left. So quick, let's just run down. Nina and Andrew have a fight. Andrew's like, well, maybe you should leave. By this point, he's like ready to have Millie for himself. So Nina's gonna go. Nina leaves. And at this point, what did Millie do? Millie did something. Oh, she left the light on.
Yeah.
So Andrew does this thing where he's punishing the wives or the women for whatever they do. That's so trivial. At one point, Nina is because she let her roots grow. Stupid stuff. He puts them in the attic room and locks them in there for days. Millie's losing her mind. She's like freaking out about it. He made her do like pluck. Well, no, what did she do?
Pull out
Put
100.
books.
No, that
on
was
her-
Nina.
No, she left a book out.
Yeah,
That's
she
what
left
it
the
was.
book out.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want you to put these
4
textbooks
books,
on your
yeah.
pelvis, basically, and just
Yeah.
like
would it really
deal with it
hurt
for
that
3 hours.
bad?
Stupid
For a long
bullshit,
time,
right?
probably.
Anyway, fast forward, we get Millie able to get herself out because Nina had left the mace in
The
the
bucket.
bucket or in the closet where the bucket was. So she was able to mace Andrew, lock him in there, and let him live what he's done to these women. I thought that was the best thing.
Okay, but here's my question. Is
What?
there a clock in the room that person can figure out how long? She's like, I have to do this for 4 hours. How the fuck does she know when 4 hours is done?
That's the point.
So she just have to guess?
Yeah.
Well, she even said she was like, I was off by a minute, and then he
No,
tells
he
her-
was off by a
no,
minute.
there was one where like
Yeah,
she knew ahead of time though how much she was off by, and I was like, "Where's the?"
I think
clock?
it was
he
Nina.
said.
No,
That
I think it was
happens once,
Nina. I think
too.
it was
Yeah,
Nina.
She was like.
Either way,
Also, they talk about how there's no service in there. Like you could still call 911 without service.
she didn't have her phone on her.
This was I'm talking about early on in the book.
Either way, my favorite part was this because at this point, Andrew's losing his mind. He's like, "Get me out," and she's like, "Not yet."
Yeah, she was doing.
And
what
Andrew
he
kept
did.
saying like, "Not yet. You have to learn your lesson."
Yeah,
So she kept
was doing
saying, "Not yet." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, tell him not yet." And so the whole part of him having to put the books on his pelvis, basically on his dick, like suck, bro. And he's losing his mind. She makes him pull out his teeth.
Which, like, I don't know why. That
Just
would
to
there
get
was
back.
no reason
but you know,
for it.
but here's why I think that one didn't work out well enough because it kind of relates back to
the mom.
Andrew's mother, which I think Andrew's mother is the point of all this.
Yes.
Because at the end,
Yes.
Andrew's mom goes to Nina and goes, "See,
You need to learn his.
he needed to
lesson.
learn when he was younger.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that you did to teach him a lesson about the teeth."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you're the fucking problem.
Yes.
I thought Andrew just wanted to fuck his mom because his mom was like
I knew she was like
beautiful,
something.
blonde,
Yeah.
thin.
Oh.
I thought
definitely
he
had
wanted a
mommy
blonde
issues,
woman to
for
be.
Sure. Yeah.
No, to hear about his dad at all.
No.
His dad seems like a cool dude, I guess.
The
but-
problem, And this is why my review, I gave it 3 stars and I put, all I can say is laugh my ass off. And obviously nobody understands that, but
I hate the end.
She kills him.
Yep.
Okay? Andrew's dead.
How did he die?
No,
he died in the room.
He died of
dehydration. He fucking died. He's dead. Okay? The cops show up to get the body.
Oh.
Nina and them are there, okay? The cop is like, my daughter used to date him.
Yep.
And I know things are going on. We're going to sweep this one under the rug.
Don't you worry.
And then we just get away with it. That's fucking
My daughter refused
insane.
to talk about this engagement.
Left, changed her name, and has never talked about it again.
Okay, of all the endings that I've read in a book, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. That's got to be top 2
Most
worst
ridiculous.
endings of all time.
So I hated that. Felt very far fetched, but I was like, okay, fine, whatever. We're going with it. And then we get to the epilogue, and this is where it truly lost me.
This is why I don't read fucking epilogues.
This is where it truly lost me. So I feel like it bothered me that this became. Remember the book we read, Finley Donovan's Killing It?
Yeah.
Which I don't really remember.
That's what.
Yes.
So main premise of that one is like this woman becomes
Spoilers
an
just in
assassin
case.
by accident because of something. So essentially, Millie goes to apply for another job as a housemaid. Why you would even do that, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes and she's interviewing, and the woman's like, "Oh, well, you come really highly recommended from Nina." She says that you are like the best of the best, and like she like puts her hand up basically, and you can see the bruises on her hand, and she basically Millie's inferring through this information that we have another battered woman, basically with a terrible husband. So she's like, "Can you help me, Millie?"
Insane.
And she's like, "I think I can. I think I can be your murderess."
So literally,
because we find out also that Millie's went to jail because she killed a guy at 17 trying to rape her friend.
Right. I forgot about that.
And so
Millie could be a psychopath.
Oh, for sure.
In her core, she's gonna be a person that hates men that are abusive like this. Because she went to jail to save her best friend from someone like, a rapist.
Right.
So I get it. But to make her then become a murderer for hire makes me upset because that doesn't make any sense.
The ending was just so ridiculous to me. And it happened so quickly back to back. I was like, okay, we got this stupid cop thing. Oh, and now she's a husband slayer. Like literally, those two things, it was too much.
It took a long time to get to Nina's point of view. Once we hit Nina's point of view, it felt like a steamroll.
I wish that and I don't even want to say because I don't know. I think this is just a creative difference in terms of the storytelling. I do wish we got to Nina's perspective like
sooner.
quicker. Could it have been every other chapter type thing? Maybe it could have been. Maybe it could have been like told a little bit differently. I have no idea.
I thought that was perfect.
Again, I always come back to this. I think it'll play really, really well as a movie.
I'm excited to see how it'll do in the movie.
You know what it is? I think I figured it out actually, and I forgot that I figured it out. As I was listening to this, I realized the reason I don't like thriller books is because of those like little things that you pick up along the way.
The context clues
that you have to add in, because at the end, if it comes out of nowhere, you're like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make any sense. All of those like little 1-line sentences like add up to like, whatever. And yeah, sure, you throw in red herrings here and there, but with a movie, you don't say those things. You don't read those things. You see them.
Again, we talked about this
and
before.
You might not even see them because
through
they're
editing,
so
through music, through
blended.
lighting, everything matters.
How
so
they're gonna do it.
One thing that I learned in school, I don't want to say system, but like a way that sometimes you can show relational or like a relationship on screen and how connected the two characters are is when you have a shot of like, let's say you have two characters talking, right? And when you see it from like the one, let's say character 1 and character 2, when you see just character 1's face and then you see the shoulder of character 2, that means on screen that these two people are really connected. And then when you switch perspectives, let's say character 2, you're looking at character 2's face and it's just character 2's face and not character 1's shoulder. That person's not as connected to character 2. That is what those like shots mean in terms of like the complex of the film or the television show. So even like slight things like that
There's so many ways, yeah.
those are ways that's a really great example of like, okay, this is showing how this character feels about that character, but this other character does not feel the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
And they are disconnected from this relationship.
I'm
and
excited
if you
to see how it's
see,
gonna
if
be
you
on
know,
movies.
You need
if
to
you
watch
know,
Severance. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, if
you have to watch
someone else
Severance.
tells me off
Why?
fucking Severance,
Severance is like my favorite show of all time, but they
You
do
and
a lot of
everybody
little
else.
things. Have you seen it?
No, I
You
haven't.
would fucking
I need
love
to, I
it.
need to watch
you
it.
of all people.
But like those are things that you learn in school,
Yeah.
right? Those are things
Yeah.
that are kind of like textbook things that you learn, and those are things that you don't consciously know, but like it makes you feel a certain way when all of these things add up together.
For sure.
And that's why I think thrillers automatically, because you have those things where like they pull together all of these tools and tricks to make you feel certain ways about characters.
I'm just very curious how they'll do it in this sense, just because like we're not meant to know this twist until like towards the end, right? Like, are we just gonna see?
Because you're
so
gonna see a different type of storytelling.
I'm so curious.
The storytelling in books is very different from the storytelling in
I just
movies
can't
and
wait
TV
to see
shows.
how it plays out. I'm really curious.
I'm
about it.
excited to see Amanda Seyfried in this kind of a role.
Yeah,
I think
same.
I the crazy thing is I'm not like going to see every fucking thriller, but like generally speaking, I like thrillers.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Why didn't she just why didn't Millie call the cops at the end
I
when she had
don't
him locked
know.
in the room? Like she had all the evidence she needs. It's all on camera.
I don't know. I will say that I did kind of like how he like fucked with her though. Like the way that he set up.
We both- both of our
not
heads cocked to
like
the
it,
side.
but like
Literally, me and Maria just went, huh?
like she left the psych she left the psych ward like not knowing if it really like he gaslit
that was
the
with
yeah.
Nina.
fuck out
Yes,
of her.
yes.
They
I think he did a
really-
really good job. I think he was really just
Like
Super
convincingly
evil.
gaslighting her.
Yeah.
And then for him to like try to convince her to go back up there to be like, see, nothing's wrong.
and then lock her back
and
in.
then
the
lock
peanut
her
butter-
back in.
Even the peanut butter thing, like putting
Oh,
peanut
yeah.
butter in the pantry, and then when Millie shows up and tries to give peanut butter, they're like, "Oh my god, my daughter's allergic," and Nina like goes,
How
"Fucking
dare you?"
nuts.
And then Andrew's being
Just
like,
to find out
I
that
think I would
Andrew
know if
leaves
my
it in
daughter would do that. Like he
He's
was
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did say I think I put one like Goodreads like update of like I don't think I've
I
ever
don't
had
know if I
a
did.
book like this where I'm like I don't like I don't like any of the characters.
Oh, I hated all the characters.
I didn't
Yeah.
even care about Millie. I
Hated
didn't
her.
care about Nina.
Enzo was the only one I
I don't
liked.
even think you needed to though.
No, you don't need to, but it was interesting reading a book where I didn't care about anybody.
Also, Enzo spoke Italian throughout most of the book. Come to
Yeah,
find
but
out,
then,
he can't
like,
speak.
yeah,
but
he's
there's a
fine.
part where Millie was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe if he had spoken English, I would have left a long time ago." I'm like, "Bitch, he literally said danger, danger. It's bad."
Danger Will Robinson.
Yeah, I'm like, you stupid.
But I see why she was staying because like she's desperate. You know, she can't find a job
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah.
else.
That's the whole thing.
And that's why
right?
Nina hired her because she knew.
I just still think like at that point when I saw the scratches on the back of the door and the door would lock or like get
Gone.
stuck, like there's like 3 or 4 times where I'm
Gone.
like, I'd rather be like fucking sleeping in my car at that
Bye.
point.
Do you think Nina? So you know, remember there was times where Millie would go towards the door and it would be locked and she like freak out.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Do
Is
you
that
think
Andrew?
it was Nina locking it or Andrew
Oh.
locking it, testing it? Because Andrew's the one that has the camera for that room.
I think it was Andrew.
It had to be Andrew.
Just seeing like, oh, how would she react if she gets stuck in
Maybe it
there?
was Nina to get her to like, because she didn't want her to leave, and I feel like that would have freaked her out in the opposite direction.
I feel like Andrew was going up there and doing it.
Yeah.
Nina like also kind of did some fucked up shit too.
Well, yeah,
To get out, but like she
Mhm.
like made her seem crazy too.
like what's
and
Nina's
like
future now? That's what I want to know. Like, where do you go?
She
from
left
here?
with her kid.
No,
She's
I
out.
don't
She's
know.
gone.
Yeah, you just start a new life, I guess.
but
Because everybody thinks she was crazy.
Mhm.
You got that whole town to think she was nuts.
Mhm.
I mean, you just gotta you gotta move to like Bali or something and just
yeah.
fucking
Well,
piece of-
she gets
Anyways.
to stay with all the inheritance.
Yeah.
So she's got all
yeah.
the money in the
So
world.
a lot of people, I think we posted about this on the stories, and a lot of people said that it was a poor man's The Last Mrs. Parrish by
don't know what that is.
Liv Constantine.
Yeah.
This came out in 2017.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think it's a very similar plot line. I have not read this book, but there were more than, I would say, a dozen people that said this.
Really?
Oh.
So it was,
okay.
it's
What's the name of the
a
book again?
The Last Mrs. Parrish.
Okay. I'm gonna
So
check that out.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like,
But now you
I feel like there's a lot of thrillers that are like other thrillers.
Something that I didn't really care for, again, with that ending of the epilogue of the, hey, I'm a manslayer now. it made sense for why I'm seeing so many books with the same cover, just different colors.
Interesting.
The Housemaid's Secret, the Housemaid's this, the
So
Housemaid's
she's
that.
just going around killing.
So I'm like, oh, this is a franchise now?
But now it's not a thriller anymore. Now it's like an action adventure.
Now it feels like Finley Donovan is killing it. But at least
Yeah.
Finley Donovan was funny. Like
Yeah.
Finley Donovan was making fun
I
of
do
itself.
not remember that book.
Remember she
Yeah.
it's that
That's
mom
killing me.
the
Maybe
boys
she
going
didn't
through
read
the
it.
divorce and she's
I
an
did.
author. We all read
Oh.
together. She's an author.
Yeah.
And her book plot was of like an assassin, like a woman assassin.
Was this the
And
book
this-
in the book? No, that was the
No.
Nothing Man. or
And then the
something.
lady, she's at the coffee shop talking to her
Oh yes, and the
her
yogi, not the
agent.
yoga and Pilates, and then she's like hiring. They're like talking in the. Remember, they're like riding bikes, and she's
Yeah.
like, "My husband."
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That one.
You're right,
But
you're right.
that one was funny because it was campy.
Yeah,
That ending just makes it just ruin the whole book for me.
right. I agree.
So I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3 as well.
You gave it a 3.
Oh, we all gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's like a 2.75 if I'm being really picky, but 3 it
Yeah.
is, you know?
I know.
I gave it a soft 3.
It was
Soft
entertaining. It
3.
was that I needed.
I was
it.
entertained.
Yeah.
I was
It was
entertained.
a change of pace that I needed.
Yeah.
Again, I my favorite part was
I would
when
never
she's-
fucking buy this book though. Books
No.
are so expensive. I went to Barnes and Noble the other day.
What a sidetrack.
I went into Barnes and Noble because I was like, oh, maybe I'll like pick up a little blah, blah, blah. And I fucking picked up a book, $17.99. I was like, get the fuck out of
Where have
here.
you been? It's been like that
Yeah,
forever.
I don't.
So
Now
standard.
they're like $22.25.
Yeah, I was like,
especially for a
"That's cheap."
hardcover.
What'd you
Yeah, no, I picked up a soft
But you know
cover.
what it is?
Oh.
Oh, soft cover 17? Yeah, they're
$17.95.
raising it.
I was like,
yeah.
get the
big-
fuck
yeah.
out of
thick.
here.
You know what it
Thick
is?
boy?
I think I picked up The Handmaid. I was like, oh, maybe mom would fucking want this. And I was like, I ain't buying this shit.
No,
$17.99.
I think Barnes & Noble is like
Authors gotta
doubling
get
down on their sales. They're doing a
Oh.
lot of sprayed edges now. I think they're opening 50 new stores.
We're gonna do a whole episode on this one.
Sprayed
day, I think.
edges?
No, like different.
editions.
Yeah, additions, sprayed edges, the consumerism in books. I think
I
is-
saw
We've done that before.
a really cool sprayed edge.
We need. To I know.
I saw you
posted
posted it, yeah.
It did look cool.
Yeah.
All right, Handmaid's Tale.
No, Housemaid.
You did this. You
I
did
did.
this.
I
Housemaid.
planted that seed.
Do you read The
Housemaid.
Handmaid's Tale?
No,
not the
no.
tale. Not the tale.
We're
I'm not
gonna live
reading
it. I don't want to
Handmaid's
get
Tale,
yeah.
a prequel to my
You're
living
right,
it.
You're right. You're right. The Housemaid. If you've read it, tell us about it. What'd you think? Did you think the ending was insane? Because I didn't see any other reviews that aligned with. Obviously, I wasn't going to spoil the ending in my review, so I just
Yeah.
put LMAO. But tell me what you thought about the ending. I
Oh.
need to know.
You know what I would say? My last final thought.
Why was I doing Trump hands?
I don't know.
Ew, yeah,
yeah, it was
stop.
weird. Final thought, like Jerry Springer style.
Okay. Love
Oh,
this.
I-
I
oh, love this. What a
I
throwback.
feel like I would rather read these than Colleen Hoover books.
yeah,
So yeah, we talked
That's
about
not
it.
even
It
a
felt like Verity,
hot
but
take.
better.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because I hated Verity.
I would
so.
read a million of these.
I
over
think.
Colleen
Yeah, I
Hoover
think I
any
would.
day.
Like.
Well, Freida McFadden has a lot of books,
But I've also only read one Colleen Hoover book, so I feel like
I've
I
read
can't
a
even,
few.
one's enough.
I can't say.
I've read it.
anything.
I've read enough to say. I've read enough to say. So I'll leave you on that final note.
All right, thank you, Erica. We really
Frieda
needed
over
that.
Colleen.
Yeah. Frieda. Thank you everybody for being here. If you want to give us your opinions, just go over to books_n_Betches BETCAGS on Instagram. Leave us a DM. Click the link in the link tree. You'll find us on YouTube.
You
If you
join
want to leave
our
a comment
Discord.
there, you can.
Tell us all about your life. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.